some of you may have known already. Some of you may know. Some of you might have found out that the ethics commissioner for the Canadian government released their little thing on Mark Carney, said all the things that he owns and all his assets and stuff like that, and all the ways that he could be compromised by foreign actors. Not necessarily foreign actors, potentially domestic ones too. But I want to talk about that. He said, went through the list, so many investments, lol. He's got I don't think he's really got that many, but still. Is he a Chinese plant or not? Mark Carney, secret Chinese operative. I know, it's crazy. Crazy to believe, but he is actually a Chinese operative. If you look real closely, you could see like the little like zip up thing right here, and if you go like this, you could see Xi Jinping in a Mark Carney suit. It's crazy. I don't know how he did it. He's been in it since day one. All right. This talks about all the ways that Mark Carney is could be potentially Xi Jinping personal secretary. This talks about all the ways that Mark Carney could be compromised. Now it doesn't really go into how much money he has. I've got a history of making those types of videos, so I might actually want to make a video on how wealthy Mark Carney is, because I can do that math. I can do those calculations. But we know for sure, the only money we know for sure that he has is he has $6.8 million US in stock options, Brookfield Asset Management. We know this because that company has to release their numbers. And so we know for a fact that he's got $7 million US in stock options, which will appreciate. We don't know for a fact anything. Actually, we don't know that because that was that is now in the blind trust. But we know for a fact that his net worth minimum has to be $7 million unless he's got like, I don't know, crypto gambling debt or some stupid shit that we don't know about. Mark Carney net worth revealed, not clickbait. I will make that video. I will probably make that video. I'm working on it, maybe, just maybe. What's a blind trust? For those who don't know, a blind trust is, oh my god, I'm not even sharing. Shit, son of a bitch. I hate when that happens. God damn it, dude. For those who don't know, a blind trust is it's a little trust. It's a legal entity, and you put all your assets in there. And then when you do that, you don't know what happens to those assets, and you don't have any control over them. By the way, please, guys, give me have a little bit of patience. I am still recovering from dying with cancer. And so when the money is in that blind trust, you can't spend it, you can't decide where it goes, and so it's a tool to make sure that you aren't compromised. You know, if you're a prime minister, you don't like propose a bill that says give $3 trillion to this one company, and then you buy their stock right before that. Thoughts and wishes. Some dude handles it, but you don't know anything, I think. Thoughts and wishes. True. $7 million is like the average net worth of a homeless Torontonian. True. But this is not his actual net worth, though. It's much higher than this. This is just Brookfield Asset Management stock options, and he's worked there for like a few years. It's way more than that. But there is a small chance that he's worth less than Pierre Poilievre, which would be hilarious. And someone touched on it earlier, but if we come here and we look up Mark Carney, we can look at, as of his role as Prime Minister of Canada, this is not as a member of Parliament, we can see the summary statement that was provided of all the assets he owns. Tommy Temper. Hi everyone, GTSY. I don't know what that means, but hi Tommy. How's it going, Tommy? Love you, Tommy. First time chatter, I believe. How you doing, Ben? Now with this, I just want the PDF. I don't care. Now again, we're not going to be told. Jesus Christ. Adobe Acrobat. I don't want that at all. I don't want that in the slightest. With the disclosure of his assets, it will not tell us how much he's made, as much as I want to know that. It will just say what his assets are. Palantir and Tesla investments, LOL. He probably does own Palantir and Tesla. Those are two big companies, especially considering Tesla is like incredibly fucking overvalued or whatever. But it goes on to say in this article that he's got an RRSP, which is just like a normal retirement account that everyone kind of has. It goes to talk about how the only asset that it says that he actually owns right now is just the copyright to his book, which isn't technically true. I am a conservative streamer. Oh, hey, how's it going, man? For some reason, the centrist party leader of Canada followed me. There's I don't even know who you're referring to right now there, man. Tommy Temper. How's it going, Tommy? I love you, buddy. Mwah. By the way, I'm a liberal, so you might not like me. So it says the only asset that he currently has is the copyright to his book. But more importantly, it talks about how the summary statement, open link in new tab. Don't I just want the PDF. Just give me the PDF. No, don't do that. Oh!
I got a call from Congress last night. Sir, there's a problem. I said, what is it? Money is pouring in. We don't know how to account for it.
Thank you so much, Kaiser Kobe, for the one gifted membership. That went to Lynn N. Shout the fuck out, Kaiser Kobe, dude. Thank you so much for that. And the fucking Stream Elements thing isn't working, son of a bitch! Oh my god, I'm about to kill my voice right now. I'm about to absolutely slaughter it, dude. Genuinely. Why isn't that working? Thank you so much, Kaiser Kobe, for that. I love you, bro. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Mwah. Even liberals are not liking Carney lately? No, I'm a liberal and I quite like Carney right now. Yo! Because you're getting so many donations that it's an inconvenience. True. No, I appreciate you, Kaiser. Thank you so much. Everyone, shut the fuck out, Kaiser Kobe, right now. In the chat, right now. Everyone say hi to Kaiser Kobe. Anyway. In this PDF, I guess we'll just click it. Fuck it. Why not, I guess. It talks about all the assets he owns. So now he owns a lot of assets. Unfortunately, it doesn't say the amount or the dollar amount or anything like that. It doesn't go off by, value or worth or anything like that. But it says divestment of the following in a blind trust, and then the self-administered RRSP, shares of North of 60 Advisors, shares of Stripe, shares of Partners Value, options on deferred share units of Brookfield Corporation. This is the one that's like the 7 million one. And these are the two. Actually, he's got two sets of options. Notional long-term incentive plan in the Brookfield Global. This is the fund that he managed. And then these are a few other things. The main thing is that these are all the shares in companies that he owns. These are all of them. These are all of them. These are all of them. So it's a lot. It is a lot. It's a lot. Bajillion. Quadmillion. True. He's got a lot of shares, and it's honest to God, it's actually probably less than what a normal person owns, because this is only about 100. This is about 105. Most people are invested in the S&P 500 index fund, very diversified. That's about 500 companies, obviously, and so it's like a normal amount of diversification. What's up, Hudson, my homie? How's it going, Taiwan? Trans Charsky, good lord, I'm doing great, man. Welcome to the stream. Anyway, something it mentions here that I wanted to talk about specifically. Ho!
I'd quit stream is about just stopping by. Also bench press 2025.
Thank you so much, Ocean Channel. Everyone go like that right now. Everyone go like that right now. Go like that right now. Thank you so much, Ocean Channel. We appreciate you. Why did the goal go up? Did the goal go up? No way the goal went up. The goal went up? Are you? Oh. No, the goal went up manually. I did that. I did that. That was me, I think, actually. It was 10, now it's 11. I think I did that. I think that was me. Hopefully, maybe I'm just gonna not touch it next time. Maybe it'll do something. Hudson, about the Epstein list, go into the general chat in the Discord and see the YouTube comment screenshot I posted. I can't do that right now, man, but I will, I promise. It was 10, now it's 11. Buy memberships. Yeah, everyone, buy memberships. Buy memberships. Campaign trail. Folks have been saying that it's mostly American companies, and cons have been chirping about it. Yeah, that's meaningless. And you call yourself a communist, Macharsky. True, I do. I definitely do. But this is the part that I think is actually really interesting, so I'll just read it out loud. The disclosure provides details about the screen designed to prevent Carney from making decisions to the benefit of his former employers. This screen is administered by Marc-Andre Blanchard, Carney's chief of staff, and Privy Council clerk Michelle Sabia. I hope it's Michelle and not Michael. They're tasked with ensuring Carney is not made aware of and does not participate in any official matters or decision-making processes involving Brookfield and Stripe, the disclosure said. Calm Charsky. Our Charsky. This can prevent me from giving preferential treatment to any of the companies while I exercise my official powers, duties, and functions as reporting public office holder, Carney said in the disclosure. It also notes he can take part in discussions or decisions that affect the companies if they are a member of board class of persons or member of a board class of persons. Under the Conflict of Interest Act, the Prime Minister, Cabinet Ministers, and Parliamentary Secretaries are not allowed to own controlled assets, but backbenchers and opposition MPs fall under a different set of rules known as the Conflict of Interest Code, where while they must rescue themselves from debates and votes on questions where they have a private interest, they can continue to directly own stocks, bonds, and other controlled assets. So Carney is the first prime minister whose publicly traded assets have been shielded from view. When former Liberal Prime Minister Justin Trudeau entered politics, he declared his company JPJT Canada and an interest in a numbered company that owned a property, but his publicly traded assets were held in a separate numbered company and later in a blind trust. Carney recusing himself from making these deals, and conservatives still somehow mad. Oh, there's even more Taiwan. Don't worry about that. Conservatives calling Mark Carney a communist despite him being a banker is funny. No, it's Mark's Carney. He's after you, dude. Trust me on that. It says that so he owns he's got $7 million. That's we know he needs to be worth more than that minimum. But it also says that the few assets that he holds besides the copyright to his book that aren't in this blind trust are, I think it'll be here. Scottish, yeah. The Prime Minister has said that the only assets he's kept out of the blind trust are some cash, a cottage, and the family home, which I think is pretty, fair and reasonable, honest to God. So he's got all his assets now, besides, I think, 4 things in a blind trust. He's got the ethics screen on Brookfield and Stripe. So this is conservatives criticizing liberals supporting Mark Carney with regard to to make sure that he can't have any influence on it and there's no conflicts of interest. And something I wanted to say right now is with this document, and I'll pull up Paint for this because I love pulling up Paint so much. It just makes me feel good and smart and so wonderful. One thing that is really important is the conservatives right now have been chirping Pirate Software Copy. Don't ever call me that ever again. I'm copying, honest to God, you can call me a Destiny copy, and I prefer that more than a Pirate Software Copy. He's a nasty man. There's 2 things I want to mention about, because conservatives have been talking about how, he's got a conflict with 105 companies, which, isn't even really that big of it. That's not really that many companies. Most people own more companies with just an index fund. However, I want you to think about one thing. Would you rather our Prime Minister's portfolio, and this is my investing background coming out. Oh my God. We're about to catalyze investments right now, guys. This is my investing background coming in. Would you rather him have a diversified portfolio or a non-diversified portfolio? In other words, would you rather his portfolio have 105 companies, so it's like split up like this, and like each one of these companies is like, this is a little share in a company he has, this is a little share in a company he has, right? Or would you rather his entire portfolio be in like 2 stocks? This is where I'm going to push back on the conservative narrative real quick. It's kind of a good thing that Mark Carney owns 105 companies and 105 stocks. I feel a lot safer knowing that he's not going to do anything, or he's not going to have any conflicts of interest and act on those. Knowing that he's got 105 companies that he's invested in, which again isn't even that large because most people own around 500 companies because of the S&P 500. I feel a lot more comfortable with him owning 105 companies than I would if his portfolio was heavily concentrated into like 2 companies. I just want to invest in Dogecoin though. My man, you got some issues. The conservatives keep talking about, he's got 105 conflicts of interest. Everyone has a million conflicts of interest, right? That doesn't matter. What matters is what are the chances of him acting on it, and how important are they? And when it comes to that, I think it's better. I'd rather have my Prime Minister own a billion stocks than like 2 or something like that. I like that he's got an incredibly diversified portfolio because it means that he's not going to be more. He's not going to like if he has 105 companies, his portfolio dollar amount stays the same. If he owns like $10,000 in Apple, he's not going to do something to benefit Apple with $10,000 in it. He's just not. That's not how that works. The portfolio, the size of it, we still don't know. But I'd much rather it be heavily diversified into a bunch of companies. Over like 2. He's not going to, if he's got like $3,000 in one company, he's not going to, what do you think? He's going to try and make $3,000 off that by trying to get the double the share price? That doesn't make any sense. So he's got an ethics screen. He put all his assets except for like 3 things into a blind trust. I've seen many conservatives compare Carney's conflict of interest with Donald Trump, calling liberals like hypocrites and shit like that. It's so ridiculous. He's got the blind trust. He's got the screen. He's got a heavily diversified portfolio, which again helps him. 1 stock Carney right now? No, we don't want him to only have 1 stock. We want him to have a bunch. So he's diversified, and so he's less likely to try and benefit any one of them. But still, conservatives have been yapping and chirping and talking up a big storm about how Mark Carney's compromised. I want to show you guys some of the reactions to that, because honestly, it is a little bit ridiculous.
Hey guys, Wyatt Claypool here.
We're not going to watch these whole videos at all. Don't worry about that. We will watch this entire video, though. This is Wyatt Claypool of the National Telegraph. Big friend of the stream. Huge friend of the stream. Invest in Carney coin. Don't invest in Carney coin. Don't fucking do that. That's ridiculous. We got the National Telegraph here. Wyatt Claypool. Huge friend of the stream. We should all invest in Furcharsky coin. It's going... Stop! Stop! Don't subject us to Wyatt Claypool. It's not that big a deal. Don't worry. It'll be a few minutes. We got the National Telegraph. Carney barred from dealing with 103 companies. The list is revealing. It doesn't... it's just a diversified portfolio. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. We got Polyev slams Carney over investment disclosure, says PM needs to sell all his assets. Which, by the way, I will mention one thing right now. Pierre Polyev, if any one of our members of Parliament, I guess he's not even a member of Parliament anymore, inshallah. If any one of our representatives is going to be compromised, we're much more likely for it to be Pierre Polyev than Mark Carney. Pierre Polyev has had to reveal his assets. And his portfolio is way more, not diversified, the opposite of that, concentrated in like a few stocks. I think I remember somewhere saying that his portfolio is like this. It's like 40% oil stocks, which is in Canadian oil companies. Like 40% of his portfolio is Canadian oil companies. I have to go for a bit. I'll be back. We'll talk to you later, Kaiser. We love you, man. He's got like some Bitcoin. And then like houses. But like 40% of Pierre Poilievre's portfolio is invested in oil. Like six Canadian oil companies. Mark Carney feels like that grandpa just smiles every day in the morning. Pierre's just the weirdo that the parents hide their kids from. Like I need everyone here to realize, with diversification, of course it doesn't eliminate the risk of acting on like a conflict of interest. But it's much safer to have 105 companies than like 6 Canadian oil companies, which you as prime minister could influence. It's complete projection on the face of Pierre Polyev. Pierre, the uncle you avoid at Christmas. It's complete projection. Dude's got oil, Bitcoin, and houses. That's his portfolio. This right here is way more conducive to acting on a conflict of interest than Mark Carney's portfolio of like 110 companies or 105 companies. And it's also a little bit scummy for the guy who's talking about deregulating to be invested in completely like oil and gas companies. Because the same thing would happen to him. If he became prime minister, he would put his assets in a blind trust, just like Mark Carney did. And we could use the same arguments on him. Well, you knew what went in there. You don't know if they sold that, if you sold out of those oil companies, and so he would still probably do things to benefit oil companies. Pierre, the dude you cover the drink in front of? Are we just doing like Pierre, the type of dude too? Is that what the stream will be? And of course, shout out to the CBC. We love the CBC here. They said something here about how, so of course Pierre Polyev lied about Mark Carney lying, because why, of course he did. Polyev said Carney made false statements by saying he didn't know what was in the trust, though he would have known what the assets were when he transferred them. Again, like this is the exact same thing that could be used on Pierre Polyev. Pierre also pointed out to Carney saying he owned only cash and personal real estate as an example of a false statement. Now, Carney did say this, but Pierre Polyev is taking it out of context. We know from the previous article that Carney said the only assets he owns that are outside of the trust are 2 homes, the family home, a cottage, and some cash. But bless the CBC, they actually give you the context for that. They give his quote, "It was patently and provably false for him to say he owned nothing but cash and real estate," the conservative leader said, which again, this is a lie. Mark Carney didn't actually say this. And then the CBC article, but those comments refer to assets that Carney held outside of the blind trust. The ethics disclosure shows the only other assets Carney holds outside the trust is the copyright to his book, Values. The only reason conservatives don't like CBC and all that stuff is because it calls them on their fucking bullshit, dude. And it adds more context to situations where they just like to lie. Honest to God. But then this was interesting. I saw this and this was actually interesting. Melissa Lantzman, Pierre Poilievre's right-hand woman, released a video. And honest to God, it was a decent little video. Like it looked professionally made. The thumbnail was appealing. I waited for a second and then I clicked on it. And so I wanted to watch that with you guys today. Because I think it's a little bit ridiculous, but still.